Okay guys, we're live. Welcome back to another weekly live stream, only on Moralis Web3 channel. And today we're going to discuss about Web3 bear market. If you are a Web3 developer, you have to listen carefully because you may have noticed that the crypto prices are going down. General interest in Web3 has gone down a lot. We're gonna show you some stats. And especially, we're gonna discuss why it's so important to be in this industry right now. Actually, the opportunity in this industry today is way bigger compared to just a few months ago where the hype was way higher. Why is it so? You're gonna learn. But first and foremost, welcome everyone who is watching this stream. I'm gonna rant for a few 10, 20, maybe 30 minutes, and then we're gonna go into more of a Q&A approach as always. But let me first and foremost show you some metrics. So the first metric is, for example, how many people search for NFT. As you can see, we've had this hype during the past few months, since November basically. It peaked out in January, and since then it is being on decline. And right now I'm looking at Sweden, where I'm if I go to worldwide, is the same story. So NFT, of course, has been one of the biggest drivers when it comes to Web3 development. There have been a lot of NFT applications, marketplaces, all of that. And of course, that has been declining. The same thing is if you go and you search for something like Web3 development. Let's actually see how much this has increased or decreased. It's also decreasing a lot now. It had peaked in February or so, and now it's decreasing. So whatever you look at, of course, you also look at something like Ethereum, or let's look at Solidity. If there is any reflection there, Solidity actually is pricing up quite well. So the devs are still deving, very important. Solidity has not decreased, and as you can see, China is being huge here, and it's across the world, everywhere people are searching for it. And it truly gives you a hint to what is about to come in this video, that development is key. It's so key, especially during these downturns in the trading markets. You look at something like Ethereum, this thing has been going down for quite some time, and if you zoom in over the past few months, let's look at the past 90 days, you see it's also in decline since January basically. And the same is for Bitcoin and everything else. So there's no doubt about the fact that this industry right now, as is seeing a decline in interest when it comes to speculation, when it comes to different use cases, NFT, DeFi. Let's actually check DeFi, how that is doing. And we've been here many times, and you see that the life-changing events normally happen during these downtimes. And I will soon give you a lot of examples of such. DeFi actually holding up quite nicely. Let's like, oh, that's 7 days. Let's look at 12 months. 12 months is a decline. Yeah, basically since the DeFi summer, we've had a decline. Let's actually look at something else. Yield farming. That thing had its own bubble, and that thing has also been trending down for the past. Kind of like the Bitcoin price with double peak here and now trending down. So all in all, look, this is where you have to pay attention, because many people will look at this and they're gonna make the wrong conclusion. They're gonna make the conclusion that, okay, this space it's declining, it's dying down. While in reality, exactly the same thing happened in 2013. When the prices of crypto assets went down, people said, oh, it's dead, okay, and they left. 2013. Imagine you were in crypto in 2013 and you left. How would you feel? You would feel like the biggest loser in the world, because you left the biggest, most important expanding industry way too early. You left at the very beginning. So how would you feel if you left crypto development, if you left crypto investing, if you left crypto altogether in 2013? You would have made a massive, big mistake. So that was, of course, when we did see a lot of interest go away during the bear market after 2013, and then we did have a hype in 2016, 17, and what happened in 2018? A lot of people once again saw the decline in prices, decline in search volume, and they said, hey, this industry may not be developing as quickly as I thought, and they left. And of course, what kind of person would you be in your own head? How would you be thinking about yourself if you left crypto in 2017 or in 2018 when Bitcoin was 15K? You would be a very horrible person in your own head if you left this industry that early, I can tell you. And of course, the same thing is happening right now during the 2022 era. Now, whether the prices will come back or not, we'll have to see. But it's a proven, mathematically proven phenomena that when you see a decline in interest, that's when the biggest success stories are made. Look, for example, when OpenSea was largely built, it was during the bear market. Look, when Uniswap was built, it was during the bear market. Look, when big protocols like Aave or Chainlink were built, also during the bear markets. You have to understand that in bull markets, normally you don't have a lot of time to focus on truly building something revolutionary. In bull markets, that's when you can reap the rewards of your labor during times when the markets are calmer. That's very, very important. So if you are a Web3 developer and you're looking at the market overall as an indication to tell you whether this industry is growing or not, is very wrong. And the mistakes you will make is that you will be looking at way too short time frame, just like people in 2013, 18, or right now when you look at something like this. This is way, way, way too short time frame. For example, if I am to show you the NFT interest curve, and you look during the past 12 months. I mean, when you look at this, it does seem like it's going down. But of course, as always in crypto, if you stick for a few more years, it's going to be 10 times bigger than it ever been. The interest, for example, in NFTs, in Web3, in DeFi, and so on and so forth. So it's always important to realize that actually in bull market, you don't have any time to do anything significant. Why? Because there are many distractions. So if you want to start something, you are competing with everyone in the world for everyone's attention. You're also competing with everyone in the world for the capital from investors. You're also competing with everyone in the world for talent. And of course, starting out in those circumstances, it's very difficult. It's very chaotic, very difficult. Most likely, you're not going to achieve a lot of things during the bull market if you start there. But if you start during calm times, you can actually build a solid base, whether it is that you have a dream to build some kind of game, some kind of exchange, some kind of analytics website, some kind of other Web3 use case, maybe some kind of collectible thing, maybe something with staking, maybe something where you can tokenize different things. Just last week, I spoke with a new project that is going to tokenize music rights. So basically, whenever an artist makes money on Spotify, they're gonna tokenize the revenue and split it up to token holders. It's very, very interesting use case where it actually requires them to buy the rights for the music, and it's this connection between the real world, so to speak, and crypto and blockchain. So it's very important to realize that people are definitely not sleeping around during the bearish times, and that's when most of the success stories are made. So we mentioned OpenSea, Uniswap, Aave. Then you look at something like Binance, which was also built during bear market. Coinbase, the same thing. Kraken, the same thing. It's a bit earlier examples. And this is also very key to understand on a bigger picture. And that's that the quality of people you meet during the bear market or during these times of a bit of a slowdown is way higher than the quality during bull times. Because of course, during bull times, many people come here, they're here for the short term. They may tell you all the things that they're so, they're so excited to work with you. They're so excited to build together. Then the bearish times come and they're gone. Okay? They're not interested anymore. Now they are on another hype. Now they're doing something else. Now they are in a completely different area, and they're in completely different business, because that is the hype of the month and that is the hype of the year. While if you truly build and you create a great team, you assemble great people around you in bearish times, you know that these are quality people that are going to stick in this industry and especially in your project for years ahead. No matter whether it's up and down, they're in your team, not because it's the hottest trend right now this current month, but because they're here for a mission. They share your mission, they share your worldview, they share your journey, they share your end goals, and that's the most important thing. Because of course, we have good times, we have bad times, this industry goes up and down, but the most important thing is when do you find someone who will be with you no matter what? It's kind of like a marriage, okay? your teammates, it's kind of like a marriage, because in many cases you will be spending more time with them than with your actual marriage, all right? This is how it is, especially depending on where you are in life. But we are at work, sometimes more than we are not at work, especially if you are early on in your career, you're building yourself up, and that's pretty normal. And of course, later on in life, your priorities may change. If you have kids and so on and so forth, it will of course change. But early on, look, your team, it's kind of like your marriage. In many cases, you are on a journey together to build a project. It's gonna be that you talk to them way more than to anyone else. So it's very important that you truly become very, very rigorous in your hiring process and very rigorous in which people you assemble into your team if you're a founder. And the easiest way to do that is when times are a bit shaky. This market, it's not pumping each and every day 30% in terms of the prices or in terms of the engagement. But maybe it is a bit slow, maybe it is a bit calm. But you know that overall, you zoom out a few years, it's gonna 10x, it's gonna 100x, it's gonna 1000x over the next few years, and most importantly, decades. And that's another important thing I want to bring your attention to, because too many people in this space, they also think a bit short term. Look, when we speak about Moralis, we're always speaking about decades ahead. We're speaking about how we're gonna build out the third-party plugin infrastructure for decades ahead. We're speaking about how we're setting up our processes, internal teams, so that this organization can be actually handed over to the next generation, maybe when we're not longer around anymore. So this is very important, because that is the time frame of crypto. Time frame of crypto is decades ahead. It's not just 5 years, make a quick pump here and there on your coins. And this is why most people actually lose money in crypto. They have way too short time span. And time in the market, time in an industry is always going to be very much superior to timing that industry or timing that market. So for example, you have a lot of people timing the industry. They create projects, they create different products when the industry is mooning, and then they're gone. Then they're gone to biotech. Then they're gone to electric vehicle. Next month, the guy is doing some kind of artificial intelligence. You call him in a month, now he's doing robotics. You call him in next month, now he's going to space, because that's the hype of the month. You don't want these people. These people that do like each and new thing, they're so interested in 500 different things. They are not that great, okay? They're not that great to do anything significant and anything practical with. And I know that by a fact, because I know some of these guys. They're fantastic, by the way. They're very inspiring. They have a lot of ideas, like a lot going on in their head. But they're always moving somewhere. And to build something great, it takes time, perseverance, patience. It takes a lot of commitment. And normally these guys that do a new project per month, they don't have any of that. Unfortunately, that's why normally they don't come anywhere either. So that's key. So you maximize your chance of building a great team during the bearish times, during the calmer times. And you know that the time will come when we're gonna 10x, 100x this industry anyway. So anyway, this is very, very important. To summarize, like I said, most success stories are actually created in a bear market or in calmer times. It's better for the team, it's better for the product, it's better for everything. We've mentioned already, like Uniswap, OpenSea, Aave, Binance, Coinbase, Kraken, everyone built their thing in the bear market. That's key. And of course, as bull markets come, you have a good base to squeeze those bull markets for opportunities. When you have a great base that you've built in bear markets, okay? Because in a bull market, look, if you start building your base in a bull market, it's not gonna go well. You won't have time to build something great in a bull market, because you have limited time. You need to squeeze the opportunity in a bull market by working in bear market. Anyway, that's a short summary of the current market and how I view it, and most importantly, why it's important to act right now, and why it's important to realize the value of education, value of experience, value of building things right now. It's way more important than a few months ago when we were hyping this whole industry to levels we've never seen before. To really start, if you're completely new to Web3, but you know some web development, go and click the link below and sign up for Moralis Web3 projects. So basically, each and every week, we're gonna build a project from scratch. You're gonna earn NFT rewards and you're gonna build it together. So this week, we're building Airbnb, Web3 version of Airbnb. And as you can see, it's coming out on Saturday. And if you want, you can check the previous ones. Like we've built already Spotify, you can view it here, Coinbase, Shooter Game, Netflix, Web3 Netflix. You want to watch this, it's like 1 hour of pure golden content, pure absolutely golden content right here for Web3 developers building Web3 version of Netflix from scratch. You're gonna learn so much. So all in all, this is very important. Now is time, guys. Time to act, time to build, time to be in this industry for decades ahead, and build your team, build your experience, build everything that you're here to do. Okay, guys. All in all, let's go to questions. By the way, big shout out to Alexandru. Ivan, I effing love you. Your academy is changing. Alexandros, that's good to hear. Hope to see you live one day. Give a big hug. Thanks, bro. Thanks, bro. I look forward to seeing you as well. Tilak, are you a cult leader, bro? Look, we're here to talk about the industry, what the industry is giving, and if I can motivate someone, fantastic, fantastic. Is it a cult? I don't know what your definition of a cult is. If you define the cult that, you know, you watch, for example, this channel, you watch me and your life is changed for the positive, fantastic, fantastic. If you can do it in some other way, good for you as well. That's a new one, by the way. Someone calling these streams a cult. Maybe we are a cult. Who knows? Look, at the end of the day, you gotta be in a kind of a cult. You gotta be committed, passionate, because that's the only way you can build something great. Again, like you cannot be thinking too rational when building something great, because it's gonna be difficult. It's gonna take time. So Web3 as a whole, I think our strength is that people that enter Web3, they're here for a mission. They're here for something bigger than themselves. They're here to build something great. You know, a lot of people that are in Web3, they could work at Google, at Amazon. I mean, in many cases, we see people working with us. I mean, just today we discussed that they're getting offers from AWS, from Amazon, from these guys, from those guys, from, what was the other, I mean, from Coin, everywhere, even in some Web3 companies. But still, it's very important that people that work with you, they're here with you on a mission. They're here with you on a mission. They're not here with you for, you know, a quick buck here and there. While, of course, compensating the team is extremely, extremely important in the market way, in the very, very great way, so everyone is happy. But at the end of the day, it has to be way more than that. And that's another thing. You don't want people that jump around. You know, one day they're excited to be here, another day they're excited to be there. And that's another issue with the bull market. You have a lot of these jumpers around in different industries, but also in the same industry. So all in all, build very, very committed team that is on the same boat that you are, and these calmer markets are amazing for that. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, what else? Join Moralis. Yeah, exactly. Join Moralis Discord. You find the link below. If you want to, for example, find team members, you want to get together, you want to find talent, you can join the Discord. We discuss everything there. Mr. Ivan, so Matthew is saying, Mr. Ivan, I started learning development from square one about 6 weeks ago. Give me some motivation, sir. I'm going to make it sometimes down. So look, all in all, development is the most important thing you can do right now. If you started this journey and you like it, you should definitely continue. Why? Because obviously it's going to get easier. It's not going to get harder from here. It's going to get easier. Number two is just a trend we're seeing in the world where people that work digitally are more successful than people that work analogically. Okay, if you work in an analog world, like you do something physical, you're rearranging atoms. This is a good analogy. If you don't work online, you don't work with programming, or in some industry that is related to development, some industry that is related to digital activities. And by the way, you don't have to be a developer, of course. You can be a marketer, a team lead. I mean, you can be anything really. And that's why if you try programming and it's not for you, do something else, but in Web3, and do something else, most importantly, digitally. Because working digitally, and programming is just one way of working digitally. Of course, your market is the whole world. You are a professional required in all countries, in all times, on all continents. And just generally doing something physical, doing something with atoms is not as rewarding as doing something with electrons. Doing digital work, rearranging electrons in your computer, that's better. If you have to choose, do that, than to do physical stuff, rearranging atoms in the real world. So this is key. Always, if you can, go from physical to digital. And then it's up to you. I'm not saying that you should learn programming necessarily. And maybe it's not for you. There are so many different other ways in an organization that require people, and maybe you're good at marketing, maybe you're good at team lead, whatever you are, do that in Web3. And it may be even better for you to build on your current strengths than to restart completely from zero with programming. Although programming, of course, it's the good thing with programming is that it's a skill that is always needed, and you don't have to explain a lot. Okay, you have a portfolio, you have already explained. All right. In a lot of other positions, you need to do a bit more work to explain your skills, and you need to be a bit better potentially at communicating how great you are at the different things, because it's not that you can just view a portfolio of code, which you can with developers. So that's the only advantage. Maybe if you are a dev, it's easier to communicate how great you are, because as a dev you can start doing open source. For example, we monitor heavily who contributes to Web3 UI kit, and if we see great contributions, of course we are interested in onboarding the devs to our team. So Web3 UI kit is a great example of that, where you don't even have to do interviews. If you do great commits here, you are already on our radar, for example. And that's the same thing with many other companies and digital teams that do dev work, and they do something open source. Open source is so amazing as a recruitment tool as well. So you both contribute to the industry, and you get a way to see who is already passionate about what you do, and they are doing that for free. That's amazing. But anyway, that's a bit of advantage of being a developer, because your worth as a professional is so clearly seen. While if you are all of the other things like marketer, team lead, it requires a longer process. But that's natural, because your portfolio is not as clearly, it's not as black and white as code. So you need to work on that to present yourself and to ensure that people understand your professional track record. I need to dev myself a sandwich. This is a cult in the best possible way. Speaking about which, exactly. How do I find how Moralis nodes work under just to understand where to check, how to Google? I mean, Moralis nodes, it's not some kind of we don't have any magic sauce or something that you're gonna find. It is a good old software development best practices. How do you run something with a load balancer? How do you run something with a load balancer with data consistency? I mean, it's not that you need to have some kind of secret sauce from us. I can tell you already that the way they work, it's simple software development, software practices of load balancing, of ensuring data consistency. That in itself is very hard work. It's very hard to make it. Not especially with the data sizes. It's big data streams. But it's not something that, if we show you a chart, you're gonna be got it, and you're gonna just do it on your own machine. It's impossible. It's because there is nothing magic about it. I mean, that's the boring answer, but it is how it is. It's simple best practices of how to load balance traffic, how to scale horizontally, how to ensure data consistency. And you can read about that in software development books about distributed computing, about building scalable systems, and so on and so forth. And yeah, I mean, probably for marketing reasons, we should create some kind of chart that looks magical, where we show you, Moralis magic sauce makes this thing scale 1000x or be very, very fast. That's a good idea. We should probably do that. For marketing reasons, we should create some brochure where we say that this is like, you have the nodes, then you have Moralis magic sauce layer, and then it's like super fast and super great on perfect. I think for marketing reasons, we should adopt that. Anyway, I hope it makes sense. Next time I will show you this brochure. I'm progressing slowly with Academy, but absolutely love programming and hopefully finish up. Fantastic. Any words on music NFTs? Well, just like I said, there are many different things with the music NFTs. We just spoke with a project last week that is doing a lot of these music-related use cases. For example, to stream funds to token holders, to NFT holders and the funds are generated by royalties, by music royalties. So the way that you make something like that happen is that you actually need to put on your big boy pants, more correctly, like we normally say. And you actually have to get out of the building, get out of your comfortable dev chair, and you have to create deals with artists with music labels, because of course it's not like you can create an NFT and it just magically, because of blockchain, you get money for the royalties. No, of course you need to go into knock on doors, you have to make business deals so you own those royalties, and then you can tokenize your ownership and you can pay it out, you need to make it compliant and so on and so forth. So I love that. I love when digital meets physical. Just like Amazon, you think about Amazon, it's not all digital. Like maybe it's 20% digital, the website. 80% is the logistics, is the physical. It's putting your pants, exactly like CJ says, the big boy pants on, going outside of the door and doing something. And so when you so like we discussed yesterday, like we discussed a few minutes ago, it's better to work in digital than in physical. But the best thing is actually when you can combine physical and digital. I mean, that's the most powerful. Why? Because it creates a level to entry. It becomes a barrier. It creates kind of a barrier for your competition. And I love that, because it's not like I can sit at home and clone what you have done, because I need to now go out. I need to meet those people you've met, deals you've made. I need to repeat. So it's very nice. I love that. When physical actually meets digital, that's amazing. If you can do something like that, it will give you a big edge. That's why when many people ask me, so Ivan, what should I do in Web3? Like, give me ideas. I'm telling people, I don't know. You know more. Let's say that you work in music. You can figure out music NFTs way better than I do. Because look, I'm a technical person. I can tell you how to deploy an NFT, and that's it. And you can learn that very quickly. You can learn that. But that's maybe 5% of the job. Then 95% of the job is to figure out, okay, how do you buy the music rights? How do you tokenize them? How do you make it compliant? How do you make it easy for users to set this up and start trading music rights? Because why is it so? Well, why is it so that I can trade real estate, I can trade stocks, but I cannot trade music rights? It shouldn't be like that. And of course, in the future, it will be all liquid. You have like 1,000% of 1,000th part of a song, perfect, you can receive revenue. You live in some kind of country where you don't have financial markets, you go to Uniswap, you buy 1,000th of Justin Bieber's song, you earn money on Justin Bieber. Fantastic. So, of course, blockchain facilitates tokenization and markets and trading, and this on a global level. That's why blockchain will always eat all finance. Blockchain inherently, by design, is gonna absorb all finance. Why? Because blockchain is global. Finance today is local. You want to trade on the US stock market? Can you do that from countries in all countries in the world? No, you cannot. In many countries you can do that, but not in all. So global systems will always eat local systems. The internet has replaced all intranets. You know, Microsoft tried to create their own version of the internet decades ago, because they said, you know, the internet, it's too scammy, like too many scams online. Let's create a safe garden. We call it Microsoft Internet. And there is going to be very safe. It's going to be good for kids. It's going to be so amazing. We're going to police it. But while it sounded good on paper, of course, it's worthless in comparison to the open internet with all the creativity, all the developers, all the publishers, all the users from all the countries without any restriction, without any strict walled garden rules that Microsoft in. This is very important. That's why blockchain is going to eat all finance. It's going to eat all trading. All liquidity is going to be on chain because it's global, and liquidity begets liquidity. If it's easier to do trades and to do transactions on chain than to go via some bank intermediary because it's not global. I cannot send money to anyone. I mean, all these are basics of crypto. Why crypto will succeed. And maybe we should do a separate video about that in some future. Why, I have no doubt that Web3 is going to eat all finance, is going to eat everything. It's going to eat everything. It's going to 10 to 200 to 1,000x in the coming years. No doubt about that. Just by design, how it is designed. It's designed as a network. It's designed to grow exponentially. It's designed to really collect all liquidity in the world for all markets. It's designed to tokenize the things and make things tradable that are currently not tradable freely, like music rights, for example. Anyway, we can rant for a long time here. Thanks for all the motivation going back to learn JavaScript. Fantastic. That's where augmented reality will play a role. Yeah, it will play a role. All metaverse are part of metaverse except Facebook. Exactly. So that's why Facebook, they will never succeed if they build a metaverse that is closed in their own ecosystem. It will never work because there are going to be open metaverses. So Facebook's own metaverse, if it's not interoperable with other experiences, with free, open Web3 metaverses, is going to die. It's going to die. It's going to die. Because you cannot compete with a global system if you have a local system. You cannot compete as a walled garden to global open systems. It's never possible. Ivan, your drive and vision is infectious. Thanks a lot, Brad. Glad to hear. The next 5 years will be explosive for Web3 infrastructure and indirect every business model in some way. Yeah, if it makes sense, look, if it has product market fit, 100%. Would you build your academy in decentralized? I think you could help to make metaverse even better than it is already with more. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, there are use cases for things, and then there are some use cases for other things. If you, to consume content and learn, you don't necessarily have to be in a VR. Some content is better in VR. For example, you want to be a surgeon and you want to see how organs look in 3D. VR is perfect. If you want to learn programming, I'm not too sure you need VR. I mean, maybe you could need VR to like see how the program is executing, like how the different paths, you know, if this, then the code goes in this path. If that, then the code goes in another path. I mean, it could be good for programming, actually, because then you can see how the code moves as a, you know, as energy and where it gets stuck, and you can maybe see a bug visually in ways you could never have seen before. But of course, look, it's then we need like a full animator team. We have to become Pixar. Yeah, you know, to make Academy like that, to truly use the power of VR and demonstrate code in VR, we need to basically buy Pixar, okay? Maybe we can do that as Web3 grows, and we have the resources to do that. But yeah, I mean, we need to buy Pixar and Disney probably also to ensure that you can visualize all the code paths and you know what's going on. Web3 UX designer is a good idea, especially, yeah, I mean, Web3 UX is always important. The UX is so bad, but it's better. In Web3, UX is better than in banking, because try making international payment, you will understand. Fintech, of course, is getting it improved. Python developers, yes, I mean, all backend, it's Python, of course. What do you think of Luna being backed by BTC? Is the future of DeFi entirely... look, I'm following it. I know they're buying a lot of Bitcoin. I'm not up to date exactly how they're doing that. Where is that money stored? I mean, normally when you have a stable coin like DAI, it is stored, the backing, which is Ethereum for DAI and other coins now. There are many coins backing it. But anyway, it's stored in a smart contract. You can see how it's stored. I'm not too sure exactly how the Luna guys are storing their 2 billion of Bitcoin that they bought. Is it on some, you know, in their personal wallet, in their corporate wallet? It cannot be in a smart contract, because that's not how Bitcoin works. Or maybe they use REN or something. Look, maybe you know more than me, and probably if we Google that, we're gonna find out. But it's a bit different topic on this channel. I can just tell you that I'm not too sure how they're gonna do that, like technically, because if a coin like Luna is backed by Bitcoin, but the Bitcoin is stored in some centralized wallet, then it is more like, it's less like DAI, it's more like wrapped Bitcoin, just centralized fully, for example. So anyway, that's the only thing I'm wondering. I was saying that because we have decentralized campus to, oh yeah, I mean, that would be cool to have some decentralized campus for sure. Thank you for what you do. Would be nice to scale ERC API for what big query. Yes, that's a good idea. That we could allow more like query stuff. I mean, here's the problem with that, to allow query. I mean, for one, I think there is already BitQuery that does something like that, but also it's whole different demands on. I think we're back, or maybe not. Okay. It says excellent connection now. Checking. I will take some coffee while we see confirmation that we're back. I think we're back. I don't know why, but my Wi-Fi at the moment. Oh man, now it's... Interrupted. Check. Okay, guys, we're wrapping this up. Unfortunately, the tech is not with us. Oh, actually, now it's with us. Yeah, it was Liz's phone. I told her to disconnect. Okay, guys, we're back. So anyway, I don't know how this stream is gonna turn out now. Let's wrap it up. But we're gonna conclude with saying that basically running any query, which is kind of where we left off. Yeah, I don't know if it's working. Running any query, it's very difficult. Okay, if you have a lot of load, just optimizing for a few queries is difficult enough. And to allow any query, it's like a whole other level. It's possible though, and it may be in our timeline in the future. But for now, we have the API and we're exposing endpoint by endpoint, so we can optimize for that. Yeah. Okay. No spamming, man. I'm sorry. On that note, guys. On that note, we will wrap up. Because I know that the internet has let us down, and we've actually covered most of the things. And hope you learned a lot during this time together that we have each and every week. Do something exactly. Audio working at 3 frames per second. I want to learn Web3 where to start. Moralis Academy. Some protocol. I don't know, man. What you're asking about that protocol. Victor, your love. Okay, big shout out to you. Fantastic, guys. Smash the like. See you all next week, the same time as always.